Greetings, students. In this session today, we are going to look at the newly released extra learning opportunities, or ELOs, that I posted in your course today. And so the presentation is posted in the class announcements right here. So we're going to go ahead and click on class announcements, and we're going to go through this together. And so I'm going to open that. I'm also going to open another link to the course, but we're unauthorized because we're in student mode. Let's go over here. Okay, so now we have the course open, and I'll actually share the screen so we can, oops. There we go. Okay, so on the left side, we'll look through the presentation. On the right side, we will look at what this actually means. And so I have offered new extra learning opportunities for one assignment per module. So if we click on modules, you'll see that there are 10 content modules starting. They all have little blue dots, and then that's for A, and then the little dots will go change to green for B. So any of the modules that have either a green dot or a blue dot, you can submit one of these module extra learning opportunities for. So we have the getting to know the AP psychology exam, scientific foundations, biological basis, sensation and perception, learning, cognitive psychology, developmental psychology, motivation, emotion, clinical psychology, and social psychology. So I'm going to go ahead and look at this. You can see if you go to the news announcement, there's 16 slides. And so when you're looking at this, you can make it big and have it cover your full screen, or you can just simply within the announcement itself go through the slides. So the first thing you're going to do is choose one assignment from each of the 10 course modules you would like to complete an ELO for. So again, here's the names of the modules that are in your course. And so when you're going through, you will choose an assignment that you were like to improve upon by doing the extra learning opportunity, maybe a quiz that you were unhappy with the grade, or a project that you feel like you could do better on. You choose it. It's got to match up. So like for example, we're on learning. So I'll come over to learning. Say I did the exploring classical conditioning in everyday life project, and I wanted to replace that grade, then I would choose that. And again, the caveat is one per module. This does not include the FRQ quiz or the MCQ exam. These you already have opportunities for extra learning through AP Classroom, and I'm going to leave that as is. We're not going to touch that. But for your assignments, I mean, if you wanted to do a discussion, you could. I would stay away from that unless you have a 0 for a discussion and a module and you'd like to do that, because they are the least amount of points out of the assignments that are listed in your course. Okay, so once I've chosen one, I have one of two options as far as the artifact that I'm going to complete or the assignment. The first option is a multimedia project. It says create a multimedia project or product that explores, explains, or illustrates a specific concept, theory, research study, or topic covered in the module. Or I can do an experiment analysis. Analyze a selected experiment related to a module topic, apply psychological concepts, theories, and research to understand and interpret the case. So we'll go over each one. For the multimedia project, I will be reading my learning objectives. I'm going to create a multimedia presentation. It could be a video, a podcast, an infographic, interactive presentation. This exploring or explaining or illustrating a specific psychological concept, theory, research study, or topic that was covered in the module. Through topic selection and research. So you're going to choose an assignment in which you would like to replace your grade. This will be the focus of your multimedia project. The project topic should align with the content of the assignment. Example, classical conditioning. So say we have this classical conditioning project. So that's the assignment I want to replace. So I'll do something along the lines of researching Pavlov, neutral stimuluses, unconditioned stimulus, conditioned stimulus, unconditioned response, conditioned response. These are all the different aspects of classical conditioning. That's what my multimedia project will be about. So you're going to take a deep dive into your chosen topic, revisit the class materials, AP Classroom, and your eText readings. You will also consult with a minimum of 3 additional scholarly sources. So look for something that ends in edu.org, something to that effect, to enhance your understanding. It could include academic journals, textbooks, or other reputable online sources. And again, anything that ends with the edu.org and so forth is going to be safe for you. You're going to make sure you have notes of these citations to keep track for a reference page. So the multimedia presentation creation, you can choose one of the following formats: video, podcast, infographic, interactive presentation, like a thing link or something like that, or digital art. No Google. It's not supported for your campus LMS. Your presentation should not only reflect your research, but also present the topic in a way that will help others understand it. So essentially, you would be reteaching that information. If we're doing the classical conditioning in everyday life project, we're creating an artifact that reteaches that information, that reteaches classical conditioning in a way that others can understand it. You want to make sure that it's cohesive, well-organized, and visually or audibly engaging. And you're going to cite all of your sources, APA guidelines, within the media format, multimedia format that you choose, or you can submit a separate Word document when you submit your assignment. The content guidelines. So what do I include? I'm going to introduce the topic, talk about its significance in the field of psychology, break down major concepts, theories, methodologies that are associated, use examples or analogies to explain complex ideas, discuss how understanding your topic was evolved and any insights that you gained during the research, and then summarize main points and relevance of the topic in the real world or practical situations. So that is the first one. Second, experiment analysis. Again, module extra learning opportunity. Like before, you will choose one assignment. Let's get our learning aid objectives. To analyze a selected experiment related to the module topic. Apply psychological concepts, theories, and research to understand and interpret the case. You will be choosing an assignment that you would like to replace your grade. There can only be one module ELO per module. So if I went and did the multimedia project for this Exploring Classical Conditioning and Everyday Life project, I can't then go and do another ELO for this module. So for example, I could not do the multimedia and then also do a experiment ELO for operant conditioning study guide. So you just pick one assignment. So essentially, if you're doing maximum ELOs in the course, you can have 3 per module, 1 on an assignment and 1 for an FRQ and 1 for an MCQ. So that is up to you. That's the maximum that I can offer. Okay, so you choose that assignment, and then you're going to choose a relevant experiment that directly relates to your chosen topic. Again, one of the policies at GABS is if we offer ELOs, the ELO has to align with the standards of the original assignment. This can be from your class module materials, your e-textbook, or other trusted academic sources. The experiment must be different than those described in the module, or you must add new information to an experiment mentioned in the module. So I'll use classical conditioning again. The name that goes with classical conditioning is Pavlov. Don't create an experiment analysis on Pavlov because that's covered pretty thoroughly within this module and in your e-text, right? So B.F. Skinner, he is also covered. However, in relation to operant conditioning, we talk about the Skinner box, and then there were other experiments that he did, right? So if you choose B.F. Skinner, you could choose an experiment that is not listed in your module, that is not listed in your e-text. He did a climate-controlled chamber with his daughter. That might be something that you look at as far as he goes. If you're unsure, if you're having a hard time with selecting an experiment that aligns with a topic, just reach out to me and let me know, and I'll help you with that. I'm happy to do that. You can email me or Canvas inbox me, meet me in my office, whatever works best. The next part is to research and review. So you will review your course module, class notes, and e-textbooks readings, AP Classroom, and any other resources related to your topic. As the other option, you need to also include 3 additional scholarly sources to gather more in-depth information and different perspectives on the topic and experiment. Take notes and keep track of these for your citations. So the guidelines for the experiment analysis. You should provide an introduction, which will basically be a brief summary of the experiment. What were the objectives? What was the historical context? A methodological review. So what was the experiment design? Was it a case study? Was it observation, naturalistic observation? Was it an experiment? What happened? What were the procedures, the controls, the variables, and the instruments? What were the key findings and outcomes? Describe primary results and conclusions that were drawn from the experiment, and then application of psychological theories. Describe how this experiment shaped, confirmed, or challenged existing theories at the time. So shaped, maybe it created a theory, or it confirmed a theory, or it changed or challenged a theory. And then include ethical considerations. What were the ethical implications? Were there any controversies, and how would it stand up to today's ethics? So really, I'll tell you, a lot of the most famous psychological experiments were unethical by today's standards. So that's what you would speak to. Off the top of my head, I think of the Zimbardo prison experiment. You couldn't do that today. Or the Stanley Milgram experiment. Again, nope, cannot do that. So, compare it to today's standards and tell me if it would still be okay. Continued impact and legacy. What were the long-term implications and contributions of the experiment to the field of psychology? What later research or theories were influenced by this experiment? So how did it influence psychology overall? And then conclusions, summarize your analysis, detail what you've learned, and how your understanding has been enhanced by this deep dive. Be sure to cite following APA guidelines. You will then submit to the ELO Dropbox with the title of the module for which you are completing the ELO. And so let's look at that. And so this is what we're going to go to. We're going to go to extra learning opportunities, and you'll see that I've created 10 new Dropboxes for these module ELOs. Let's look at that. Go home. I'm going to go to my handy ELO button. I'm going to click on that. And I have added these module ELOs to the bottom of the ELO list. So you really have a lot of opportunities in this ELO list this semester. And this is where you'll hand in any ELO, no emails. They all go into this Dropbox if you would like them to be graded. So say we are in learning, right? And say we did one of those 2 options over the classical conditioning and everyday life project. Well, learning is LNG. See how those 2 match? Oops, LNG with LNG. This is where I'm going to turn it in. So when I go, I can do, you'll do like media if you did the multimedia, but most of us will be doing an upload just like before. Make sure you check that, hit submit, and it will send it to me. And so let's go back, like the ELOs for FRQs and MCQs, I'm going to leave these open until the last day of class. So you have until the last day of class to submit these. My recommendation is not to forgo work on your PACE plan to complete an ELO because your PACE plan is tied to a due date. These have a long extending due date. If you have some time over a weekend where you're not busy, or Thanksgiving and you want to do these, definitely do that. Or if you're staying on track with your PACE plan and you have a little bit of extra time, do it as you go along. It's going to be a great study tool to do ELOs, complete ELOs. But then again, you do have until the last day of class, which is December the 8th. So that will be the last day that you can hand these in. When the course closes, these drop boxes will close and they will no longer be an option. So please do reach out with any questions about this, and good luck.